Well, greetings, y'all, and welcome back, everybody else. We're going to do a little rehandling project. I've got this Rough Rider Trapper. I had dyed this a while back, and it didn't turn out bad, but I think I just want to go with something different. I've got some 1/8 inch, this layered G10, the orange or some white and black in there. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to knock the handles off of this, hopefully keep these in one piece and use these to trace out the new pieces we need. So let's get started on it. Alright, so I got the handle material off. I go ahead and, for this project, I took out these small liner pins on both sides. And left that one. And then this middle pin, the middle pin that the hinges, or that the springs hinge on, I left. So, need to clean this up a little bit, so I use a wire brush. You want to get this as clean as you can, as smooth as you can. Still got those center pins sticking up a little bit, but we'll fix that. But yeah, we'll get this thing cleaned up and get it ready, and we'll trace out the new scales, the new pieces, and we'll go right along. All right, so one thing you want to look at, when you've got the old ones off and you're cleaning this up, make sure you're keeping these straight, especially these outer ones. The middle one isn't really going to be affected too much, but these brass liners, if you bend it too far out of shape, it's very, very hard to fix without completely taking it apart. So you want to keep these as straight as you can, without any big, waves or bends in them. Because when you go to put your new handle material on there, you don't want to be able to see big gaps. So I'm going to get the new pieces traced out, and then we'll kind of show them a little bit as I go along. I won't be able to show every little bit, but I figure y'all be bored with that anyway. We got this smoothed down, and then it went over it with a fiber wheel, just to kind of, smooth everything over, after using the sanding wheel and the wire brush. So, like I said, we will get the new pieces traced out, and we'll keep going. So here's the pieces traced out. Like I said, if you can get the old scales off in one piece, it's better, because you can use these. Now, obviously, this is going to be the side that's going to go flat up against. So that's how I traced it, like this. I lined it up, trace it a little big. You definitely have to go with the old rule on this kind of thing, where you can always cut more off. You can't put it back on once it's gone. So cut these out a little big, and then when you do your finishing, you haven't cut your pieces too small. So we'll get over there on the bandsaw and cut these out, and we'll go ahead and epoxy them on. We'll make sure the fit's good, and we'll epoxy them on, let them set. I use the Gorilla Glue, the 10-minute 2-part epoxy, and then we'll get it finished up. we'll do something, because obviously this is a layered G10, so we'll do some kind of, you know, grinding or something where you can see the different colors through it. It may be kind of random, but we'll see. All right, so I got one piece trimmed out good. To me, one of the most important things that you need to get right is the length. When I started with this piece, it was a little too long, and you want it that way. So, and then I would put it on there and put it up, and it'd be a little too long. I'd use my belt sander over there, and I would literally go across this end. I kept this end the same, so from one end, and make sure you do it straight, because that is a straight line across that bolster. Just one, maybe two passes on that belt. I went back to the sander and checked this thing several times, because again, you know, you can always cut more off, but once it's off, you ain't putting it back on there. You know, I'm able to follow those trace lines, and it's fitting just right. So we'll do, and I don't have too much more to take off from the edges, and end to end, there, you know, no gaps, good shape. So this one's good. Now what I'll do, because these things will only fit on there one way, but at the same time, I'll mark this side. So we'll take this off of here, and with our marker, I'm just going to do a little mark like that, because that's going to be on the inside of the handle. And then I'll mark the, yep, see, it goes on this side. Yep. And then I'll mark this brass liner as well, and just kind of let that dry, and that way I'll know that piece goes on that side. Like I said, it's only going to fit on there one way anyway, but it's just something I do. So we'll get the other side cleaned up and fit on there, and we'll get them epoxied. And here's the other side done. Like I said, I probably ran this thing lightly across the belt sander over there 4 or 5, maybe 5 or 6 times, because I mean, you can see, I mean, obviously it wouldn't stay on there for long, but kind of clicks in there. I mean, you want it, you know, just right. And when I say just right, you know, I just about mean perfect. So like I said, we will get these epoxied on. We'll let that epoxy cure, and then we'll be able to finish these edges out, and then on the ends we'll smooth all this off. And but yeah, the hard part's done. Like I said, we'll get these things epoxied and fitted on here, and then we'll get this thing finished up. All right, so there it is. I got it all, got the epoxy put on, got it put together. I put it together with my clamps. I don't have the package out here, but like I said, it's that Gorilla Glue brand, the 10-minute epoxy. You literally just mix up just a little bit, and then actually apply it with the end of the toothpick here. Just get some on it like that, and just actually put it on the handle material, then put it on there. Everything's lined up good on both sides. So yeah, we'll let this sit and cure for a while. I'll let it sit for more than 10 minutes, but we'll come back to it later this evening. We'll get our belt going that we need on our sander over there, and we'll be able to do the finish on this thing. So yeah, we're through the hard part. Now it's just time to make it look good. All right, so the epoxy has set up. We're gonna start doing some of this finished work. I'm sure y'all probably noticed the tape on the blade. That's just a trick I learned years ago. Seen a couple other people do it, but obviously, you know, really good to protect you against, you know, I've cut myself enough. I don't need any more from this. So we'll start on our grinder over here, and we'll See what we can get this to look like. Alright, so we kind of started around this bolster here. Just careful not to let the belt get into the bolster, but we'll skip ahead. I'll get some more of this done and show it again. It's already starting to show some of the layered on the edge there. So we'll get it kind of trimmed out and cleaned up. Alright, so for the most part, it's about finished up. I'm going to do a little more sanding on it, kind of finish this up a little bit, get a little bit of a better look there. But it turned out pretty good. It all sanded down even. You know, the ends of the scales are even with the bolsters there. You know, got everything trimmed and sanded down, and it feels pretty good. So I'm just going to change the belt out on the sander. I believe that was about probably a 240 or maybe a 400 grit belt. I'm going to put a 1000 grit belt on there and go over it a little more. So we'll see how that does as far as the finish. But yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with it. So that's it. Got it conditioned up. I'm gonna go over it some more with some 2000 grit sandpaper, just hand sanding. Just finish it up a little bit. But yeah, I'm happy the way it turned out for sure. You know, these you know, the first of any project is always a learning experience, and I learned something else, learn a little something new every time. But I hope y'all enjoyed the video. We'll have several more of these coming out in the future. I got, you know, access to all different kinds of handle material and different patterns of knives. But yeah, this is just a new little venture that I'm wanting to get into. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Again, Warrior Works blade blubber to kind of condition this G10 up a little bit. But thanks for watching. Y'all have a great one.